I really and truly have always believed that it's important that our communities are provided with the tools to succeed, whether it's with technical assistance or even finding some kind of funding for them to be able to do some economic development. But even more importantly is for us to be on the same page. That's why we're having this meeting on the 23rd of March. Basically to let our communities know that we are going to be providing technical assistance very aggressively. Not only that, but have an opportunity to meet with them one-on-one as a principal chief to find out what they would like to see within their own communities, because I believe it's important that we get the community's input on how they see themselves succeeding. Not only that, but I believe that my philosophy has always been that only the communities knows what's best for them, because they're going to be able to control their own destiny. But as a nation, as a tribal government, we have to provide the ability for them to succeed, and I believe we can by being on the same page. That's why it's so important that we meet with the communities on the 23rd. I've been around to where I can remember some of our communities actually getting their start by just meeting under a shade tree. And from that, those community members had this vision of being able to have their own facility, of being able to provide services, very important services at the local level. And by them doing that, and by a tribal government providing the basis for them to do that, that means that we're also succeeding as a tribe, because what they do on a local level, if it's successful, that means that at the tribal level, those are some things we may not have to worry about, whether it's social services or whatever the case may be. So I think it is important to get back to the original concept of our communities, and that was to help themselves help the local people at that level, so that the tribal government itself can do some other things with monies that are loosened up, for lack of a better term, to provide other services for us as a tribal government. I believe that it's to an advantage to some degree, having served as a former speaker of the National Council. I've always had the philosophy that regardless if it's a legislation or something of a legislation that eventually becomes law, that's still a working document. And I see that with Title 11, with our communities. That's still a working document. With the community's input, that allows for maybe some amendments that may need to be done with Title 11. Facility use agreement. I think to a large degree it's always handcuffed our communities. Yes, we need some kind of oversight as a tribal government, but that's don't bottleneck the success of those communities, and I think to some degree we've done that in the past. That's why I need their input. What best works for you in Tulsa, as opposed to what's best that can be done to work for the Muscogee Creek Indian Community, because not all have the same issues or concerns at those levels. So I think it's why we need to hear from those communities. What is best for them?